In previous part, I mentioned the functional requirements of our connect globe block system, connect globe block system, and I told you how we are going to perform each and everything here with functional requirements, application requirements. So in this part, I am going to mention what I am going to perform here, which is basically servlet, JSP part, JDBC connection, each and everything here. So stay connected with this and let us see what is our Java servlet. So if you know what is the backend part of web, front end is basically what you are looking here, which is HTML and CSS. But consider there is one form in your web page and you are writing that form. If you once submitted, uh, you got that your data is stored now. So what is the data is stored? So it will go to the database and it is entered in that database. Now the thing is you are writing in the form of HTML. So how your name is fetched and how it's stored in the database, because database is always SQL file, or you can check for the CSV files it's generated, which is basically comma separated files. So these are both different contents as consider as a structure. Each and everything is very different. Like SQL are some SQL statements like create table, add entries, insert. So these are very simple, but your writing in HTML is very complicated. So each entry is in consider as a table, or you can say form as a parameters, and our Java code handle that, fetch that parameter and put it in that database. So it's basically like request and response system in Java in the servlet part. So servlet is a technology which is used to create web application. Again, servlet is an API that provides interface and class. So what is the thing is the interface and class? If you know the Java basics, classes are structures of objects and interfaces are, you can say, instance of classes. So these are both different concepts, but servlets perform as interfaces and classes both. So that's the power of servlet. So servlet is an interface that must be implemented for creating a servlet, or you can say there is a servlet part which can perform the servlet actions, each and everything. But also servlet is a class. Also, as a it's performed as a class with some default libraries that are the capabilities to serve of servers. As a name suggests, servlet, it's deployed on the server part only, extends the capabilities of the servers and responds to the or we can say responds to the incoming request. So what is the request and response? I will tell you. While you are searching on a google.com for cars, consider you are searching cars on a google.com, you request the server show me the information about cars, basically cars like motor vehicles. So you are asking for the request. So now server should respond with that particular page, or uh, consider there is 4 car list Google want to show you. So server fetch that 4 car list and it will respond to your server. So this is very complex thing. As a world wide web is extended more, it's became very complicated. But request and response is very helpful while deploying your web application, because web application performs with some dedicated actions. Like in my case, it's performed the blog system, but for the other application considered as a library management, they have some different actions. So for particularly that, we need to write code to perform such actions. So it can respond to any requests. So why we are proceeding with Java servlet? There are many other options. You can use C, C++, Perl languages also here, but or you can use JavaScript, which is very popular while writing such cases. So servlet is a web component that deployed on the server and create dynamic web pages. So one advantage of Java servlet, what we can say, it's deploy on the server part only. No need to deploy on the client part to extend your abilities with some web applications. So this is it about how we are performing the Java servlet. So let's see tutorial representation of Java servlet. This is my client. I'm sending request. Server will generate one response at a runtime, and it will be respond to the client. that response. So it can be some copy of document, it can be a data, it can be image, anything he can provide, or we can say server can provide. So there are different things requests dispatched in servlet, but before that I just want to mention that while deploying on the servlet, what is the beautiful thing is it will be handled to the threading part. So consider there are 100 clients you just searching in your blog. Consider my blog system only. Simultaneously 100 client using this my system. So sometimes due to the my server is not very strong, I am using some um, low level server, or we can say low cost server for the deployment of my application purpose, to uh, because I don't want to waste that much money on that part. Consider as I am owner of this block system, I just implemented the server part on the lower end. If I use some other technologies, I need to mention multi-threading part here. Because it will not handle defaultly, I need to mention multi-threading. Otherwise it will handle some clients with the different processes, and as my server is very low end server, it cannot handle that many requests. So instead of that, I can use Java servlet, which inbuilt have ability to create multi-threads. What is the multi-threading? Threading is the process divided into the different small processes is known as the threads, and multi-threading is like handling many processes at a time. So it can divide joining the client as one process. It can be divided in several threads, and it can be used as my application to run an application. But beautiful thing is I can handle more requests using multi-threading in Java servlet other than anything or any other platform. So request dispatcher is basically that interfaces, or we can say interfaces of Java servlet, to dispatch the request to another resource from another resource, basically just proceeding from one page to other page. It may be HTTP, HTML, servlet, JSP, you can use anything here. So forward is just basically forwarding, and including just basically the including the same file inside your thing, or you can say inside the same page, you can say. So this is the forward method, as I told you, and you can use this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use some default things here, like some CSS file, uh, style CSS to deploy on my server part. Then I'm going to use some libraries part also here, because to deploy such cases I need to mention it from, what we can say, I don't want to create it from the scratch, so I'm going to use some default CSS part here. So let me add such files. If you are seeing my this left side, you can see I'm currently adding this. And what I'm going to do, let me close this, because it will deploy it again and again as a JSP part. It will deploy it again and again. Let me add one footer HTML also here. I will tell you what is the footer HTML will give. It will give the beautiful uh, footer part here, which is basically nothing but is just a padding part, we can see in our file. So let me add such files. Then images and libraries, I'm going to add some. So you can hit enter directly. These images are nothing but some web images only. As you can see, there are some web images which I'm going to use here as my background part. Some uh, what we can say, linking part, each and everything. Then some paging part with pause and each and everything I'm going to use here. So that's it, how I'm going to do here. Once this is done, you can check these files. So sometimes there may be error in these cases. So let me check what is the error here. Okay, so I haven't mentioned the color. So there is no error now. Okay, so this is my just everything here I mentioned as my CSS. So this is dot index.html. Let me delete this part because I will mention you what I'm going to do here. So let me add index.html. So index is nothing but just thing here I'm going to add here. So let me show you. There is too much of padding here I used while writing this. So nothing but this is W3 or World Wide or XHTML page because I'm using here Ajax. I will tell you what is the Ajax. This is basically a synchronous thing I'm going to use here. Then some keywords, description and title as a test. I will change it to connect globe because while testing I'm using this. So I will tell you what is these things. I just added script here, then all the things here. Style.css I'm adding. So let me first deploy this part, clean and build. Build is successful. Now let me deploy this on my server part. So now my thing is deployed. Let me show you how this is looking. So if you are adding my part only, you can check I created each and everything, post as register admin, each and everything, login form. So these are the some default things I used here. You can use here your thing, and I mentioned some things here with tutorials, each and everything. You can check here, and I'm using this part, but let me check for this purpose. So this is all about how I'm mentioning everything here. So in further part, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mention some important things here. So uh, there is that footer.html. So you can check this is footer.html also loaded. So this is it how I'm going to mention. But before this, let me tell you what I'm going to do here. So let me go switch to the PPT part. So this is the, request.dispatcher. As I told you, what is the thing here? Request.dispatcher. You can check here as what is the basic thing I'm going to mention here. As request.dispatcher is nothing but you can check here as uh, this is the thing what I'm going to mention here. Uh, request.dispatcher is very helpful thing while developing this. Forward is for the forwarding method, and the thing I'm mentioning here is just for putting that part while writing this. So let me go to this Chrome part again. So this is my server. I'm using this connect globe and privacy terms. I added just thing our address. This is nothing but I just added images here. You can use your more responsive things here also, and you can check this. So this is nothing but I just added images. Just forgot about this because I'm adding some default text here. I just don't want to put much more efforts on this. So you can use your login form. You can check your recent discoveries here, latest news you can check here. So that's it how I'm going to mention. This is just the index part, and I just, for the testing purpose, I just added this. You can change it to the later part also here. So in further part, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to put this each and everything. So that's it about this, the deployment of index.html part. So in a further part, let us see how I'm going to mention. And this is the footer HTML, as I told you. So it is nothing but I just created, and let me close this. Okay. So this is the output, and you can check my output is now running also. So that's it about how I'm going to deploy this.